Comparison is a natural human tendency. It's something that, to a certain extent, is ingrained in us from a young age. We often measure our progress and success by the standards of others, looking around at people who appear to have it all together, comparing their achievements to our own, and sometimes even feeling inadequate because of it. The world around us seems full of individuals who seem to have everything figured out, whether it's their career, relationships, personal growth, or finances, and it can feel as though we are constantly falling short. But the truth is that constantly comparing yourself to others can be a dangerous and toxic habit that erodes your self-confidence, your sense of self-worth, and ultimately, your ability to grow and thrive. The fact is, the only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone has their own struggles, their own obstacles, their own unique timeline. And while it's easy to look at someone else's life from the outside and assume they have it easier or that they are somehow more successful, the reality is that we all have our own paths to walk, and those paths are often much more complicated than they appear at first glance. In the age of social media, this pressure to compare ourselves to others has only intensified. We are constantly bombarded with curated glimpses into other people's lives, highlight reels, carefully constructed personas, and images that present a flawless version of reality. But the reality behind these images is often far more complex and multifaceted than what we see. The success stories we read about don't show the failures, the struggles, the doubts, or the sacrifices that were made behind the scenes. What we often forget is that everyone's success looks different. Some people are more public about their achievements, while others prefer to work quietly in the background. Some people are more comfortable sharing their personal journeys, while others are more private. But no matter how different our journeys may look on the outside, we are all working toward the same thing: the desire to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. So, why should we stop comparing ourselves to others? The first reason is that it only takes away from our own personal growth. When we focus on the accomplishments of others, we lose sight of our own progress. We become so focused on what someone else has done, or where someone else is, that we forget to celebrate our own wins, no matter how small they may seem. Life isn't a race, it's a marathon, and the only race that truly matters is the one you run with yourself. Your journey is your own, and it is unique to you. The path that someone else takes may be faster, different, or more linear, but it doesn't make yours any less valuable or worthwhile. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others and start appreciating the strides you've made is the moment you can begin to truly grow. Another reason why comparison is harmful is that it creates feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. When we constantly measure ourselves against others, we set ourselves up for failure. If we feel like we're not measuring up, it's easy to become disheartened or discouraged. The truth is, no one is perfect. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, their highs and lows. Comparing yourself to others only highlights the areas where you feel deficient, which can lead to feelings of self-doubt and a lack of confidence. Rather than focusing on what you perceive as your shortcomings, it's much healthier to focus on what makes you unique: your strengths, your passions, your values, and your dreams. No one else has the same combination of qualities that you do, and that is your greatest asset. One of the most liberating truths you can embrace is that everyone's timeline is different. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that by a certain age, you should have accomplished X, Y, and Z, and that if you haven't, you've somehow failed. But the reality is that success doesn't have a set formula, and the timeline for achieving your goals doesn't look the same for everyone. Some people may have achieved what you consider success early in life, while others may not hit their stride until much later. The truth is that life unfolds at its own pace, and trying to force a timeline that doesn't align with your natural rhythm can create unnecessary stress and pressure. It's important to remember that there is no right or wrong pace. Your timeline is your own, and it is uniquely suited to the person you are and the goals you are meant to achieve. Moreover, comparing yourself to others can stifle creativity and self-expression. When you're constantly looking at how others are doing things, it's easy to get trapped in the idea that there's only one way to succeed, or that your unique approach isn't good enough. This can cause you to doubt your own abilities, and in the worst cases, it can make you stop pursuing your dreams altogether. The most innovative and successful people are often those who embrace their individuality and choose to walk their own path, regardless of what others may be doing. By focusing on your own vision, you open yourself up to the possibilities that come with following your unique passion and purpose. One of the most powerful ways to combat comparison is through gratitude. When we start to focus on what we have rather than what we lack, it shifts our mindset and helps us realize how much we've accomplished already. It's easy to overlook the small victories or the things we take for granted, but when we practice gratitude, we begin to see how much progress we've made. This shift in perspective can help us stop feeling inadequate and instead feel empowered to continue on our path. The more we appreciate our own journey, the less we'll feel the need to compare it to someone else's. It's also important to understand that success isn't the only measure of worth. Society often defines success in terms of external achievements, wealth, status, titles, and recognition. But true fulfillment comes from a deeper sense of purpose, from living authentically, and from aligning your actions with your values. It's not about how much money you make or how many accolades you receive. It's about the impact you have on the world, the people you help, and the legacy you create. When you focus on living in alignment with your values and following your passions, the need for comparison diminishes. Your sense of worth comes from within, not from the approval or recognition of others. There is also immense power in embracing imperfection. We live in a culture that often values perfectionism and a flawless exterior, but the truth is, perfection is an illusion. Everyone has flaws, struggles, and setbacks, and these are the very things that make us human. Rather than trying to measure up to some unattainable standard, we should embrace the beauty of our imperfections. It's through our mistakes and challenges that we learn and grow. It's through our imperfections that we become more compassionate, more resilient, and more capable of connecting with others. When we stop comparing ourselves to others and start embracing who we are, imperfections and all, we allow ourselves to live more freely and authentically. In the end, the most important thing is to remember that your worth is not determined by how you stack up against others. You are enough just as you are, and your journey is valid, regardless of how it compares to anyone else's. By focusing on your own growth, celebrating your own achievements, and embracing your uniqueness, you can create a life that is truly fulfilling. Life isn't about competing with others, it's about living in alignment with your own values and creating a life that reflects your own unique purpose. So, stop comparing yourself to others. Trust your own path, embrace who you are, and remember that the only competition that matters is the one you have with yourself. The more you focus on your own growth and progress, the less you'll feel the need to measure yourself against anyone else. Keep going, keep growing, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself.